Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Marina and today we are at lesson number 2. Lesson number 2 is called How to Study Efficient a Language or Efficiently a Language. Sorry for my English spellings. I'm not a native, obviously. So if I do any mistakes in English, I'm sorry for that and I apologize in advance. Okay, let's see. The first advice is connect with a native. For those who are married in Korea, it's easy to say, oh, but I have the husband at home, but sometimes they don't really help as we wish. So it's good to find somebody who can help you and is not really disturbed of you asking him or her to help. So yeah, that's very important. Also, there are many apps where you can connect connect to speaking with natives and do some exchange. So that's another way. Either you connect them on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, other apps, or I don't know, or just in real life. It's very important for you to have contact with natives at some point. Number 2 would be to study daily. Like practicing every day actually is very useful for everything, right? When you learn anything in this world, it's good to practice every day because you don't get a chance to forget what you studied. So practicing every day is a good way for you to study the language. We say in my country, practice makes perfect. So yep, that's the second very good advice. Number 3, use a dictionary when you need to find words. Do not use translators. I've been saying this for many times. Translators help you like when you have to translate a full sentence, but they don't make you understand how that sentence was structured and how it was made, and if it's polite, unpolite, or formal. We have no idea, right? We just translate it. So because of that, I recommend you use Naver Dictionary, which has a free app, so you can download it on App Store. Also, there is a Daum Dictionary, I think, and there are a lot of others like free offline Korean English Dictionary or English Korean Dictionary, as you please. So you can download that and have it when you need to find words. But Naver usually is very recommended because it has the word, it gives examples in small expression, good with translation sentences. It also has Hanja if you need Hanja, which are the Chinese characters. So anyway, the thing is, like, Naver Dictionary, I would say, is my best for as a recommendation. So if you don't have it, please download that. Next, use various materials. Let's be honest. Today we live in a world where there are so many materials in everywhere, like in the internet, offline, online, everything, right? So it's very easy to get overwhelmed. But also, it's not important to use only one resource. So we use the book and my lessons, but it's important if you have some other extra practice for yourself. You can always just search for extra things. Like if you study, for example, grammar, something like one grammar, you search on Google other practice for that grammar or in other books. This is how I recommend to my students in order for you to get more practice if you don't have any native around you. Also, you can choose YouTube. It has a lot of videos about grammar, vocabulary, expressions, and anything that helps you. So you can choose either podcast, either to write and rewrite stuff, to read them, make flashcards. Try to implement many ways in your study. Also, you write when you start learning new words, I recommend you make your planner in Korean. So when you study days of the week, you implement that in your planner. When we study actions, you implement that in your planner, and so on. Next one is if you can visit the country. So after a while, if you're not in Korea, it's important for you to come and visit the country. It's good for you to practice with real world. You can feel the culture, right? Then people say that without learning the alphabet, you can learn a language. Well, I would say it's impossible because you cannot read, right? So I recommend you learn the alphabet and learn it properly, and our lessons are going to make you kind of read it like fluently as a native. So stay on and study with me. Then learn vocabulary. I give here an example, but you don't have to use that one. Make yourself flashcards and use them to play like kids. Work on reading and the pronunciation. That's very important. I'm going to read stuff to you in the videos, but you have to practice extra so you can work on your own pronunciation, right? Next is don't worry too much about grammar. I'm a grammar fanatic and I will correct the grammars that my students really mistaken and why, but I definitely explain why it was wrong. Like just correcting it is not enough. So if you have somebody who does that, or you post it in the Google Classroom, then I will help you with that as well. But in the same time, like when you speak, you don't have to worry too much about having the perfect grammar. It's good to improve it day by day, but it's okay if you don't make it perfect from the first try. Next, study through conversation. So we study something in the class, try to apply it with the native you found, the friend you found, or even if somebody studies at the same level with you so you can practice, that would work as well. Also, we don't have one-to-one classes because this is a video, but for speaking later, it's good to have one-to-one classes if you have any things that you could not understand completely, or you need more extra practice and you're scared of somebody. Like one-to-one classes help you to have some private personalized lessons. Also, it's important to keep practicing the language. I wrote it in here. I don't know why it's at the end, but when I started learning Korean, I had no friends, so I spoke to myself in the mirror and like was arguing with myself why you don't speak Korean and so on. So maybe practicing in any way is good. So choose something, or a toy, or like a doll or some toy or something you talk to, just so you can practice in Korean. Also, when you go around the house, for example, you find a cup somewhere, it's like how you say cup in Korean. You have to arrange some clothes, how you say clothes in Korean. Search for that right away and try to implement it. That would work. And even if you say stupid things, I invented words in Korean, honestly. So even if you say stupid things in Korean, it's fine. So don't worry about that unless you swear, but it's less likely to swear. So I would say to give it a try to speak, even if you mess up the grammar or say like new words. It's okay. Try. Also, I like the way how I learned the language. I used to teach it to my friends for free, just for me to understand it and make my base completely. I'm not saying that you should teach necessary, but it's good to pretend you're teaching it to somebody at least, so you can see if you can explain it. Try to imagine what kind of questions you would receive and see if you can answer to that. If you can answer and you can explain it well, then that means that you understood the lesson, so you're good for going on. Okay, for number 2, page number 2, we do have some checking marks, like you have to check something that you're prepared or not for studying exactly. I'm not pushing you to buy all the notebooks, but I recommend to have a different one for like vocabulary and one for grammar, because when you learn new words, it's hard to go on with the full book around you. So if you have the vocabulary with you, you can always check the vocabulary. For the grammar, when you have to review things from the past, it's easier if you have a grammar notebook, so you can check that one and just review the notebook. Okay, so that would be, I think, the last of the page in the chapter would be just for yourself to motivate yourself. So make sure you write after you think a lot. What's your motivation? Where do you want to be when you study completely and you can speak fluently? What do you want to do, right? What's your motivation to study Korean? And don't forget, in the workbook also has, let me see. Yeah, we have some advices that you can write for yourself. So make sure you write the advices whenever you want to give up. You can read them, right, for the later part. So yeah, that's it for today. So I hope you enjoyed it, and see you at the next lesson. Bye.